What's up, everybody? I'll tell you what, man, we're hanging with Mark and Dougie. It's another show. It's going to be a lot of fun, a lot of topics, a lot of interesting topics. A lot of things happened, including I had a rough weekend, man.
Yeah.
Went to Chicago. It's a beautiful place, but some places aren't so beautiful. We got on the train, me and my girl, because we're going to the convention, because we're doing a sports show. And I was lucky enough to have a knife kind of showed on me. He flashed a knife. I had to think what I was going to do in that situation. And he was like, everybody, I don't want to hurt nobody. I don't care about the police. Look like a crackhead. And I'm like, I'm going to take this guy out. But the only issue I really had, one of a couple things, here I am, a white man, I'm attacking a black man, and I don't know how many people can actually attack me, even though he has a knife. So there was some issues. My girl was scared because of the situation, because of me, because I'm a maniac. And thank God he put it away and got off the train. But I'll tell you what, it was interesting, man. It was
Yeah.
it was an interesting trip, man.
It's got to be that moment, when something like that appears, right? Like the guy pulls out a
Yeah.
knife. Was he going like this? He was just
He
talking.
actually flashed the knife. It was what's the knife that boom boom they come out the switchblade. It was a
Right.
switchblade, and he popped it out and he goes, "I don't want to hurt nobody, but if I have to, I will. Don't care about the cops." And I'm sitting there, I'm like, okay, I'm gonna wait a second. It was a lot of brothers on the train, and I said, let me see what's up. And then in my mind, I'm like, all right, I'm gonna take the knife this way. I mean, it was all in my head. This whole thing happened in 2 seconds. He put the knife back, and at that point, I was going to tackle him, but I said, let me give it 1 or 2 seconds.
Yeah.
And he got off the train. And everything was nice, and everybody's like, and the guy next to me was like, I watched you. I thought you were going to go after him, and I was. But, if it was just me and him one-on-one, definitely there would have been consequences, if I had to do it. But it's interesting, man. Chicago is an interesting city, without a doubt.
I could
The
picture,
first time I ever had a knife on me, which is interesting.
I could picture Mark sitting there, and all of a sudden he hears Mission Impossible music, James Bond music.
Every scenario hit my head. Scenario, yeah. And this was going towards the city, which is a little bit safer, the city, but it wasn't like South Central. So yeah, it was interesting. That was the more interesting part. There's some other fun parts of the show.
Sure.
We went to actually the fun part of the show, not the knife stabbing. That wasn't fun. But the fun part of the show is we went to the Nashville Sports Convention, and we seen the LeBron James card that sold for $10 million.
Wow.
One basketball card, $10 million, which is insane for a new card. It's breaking all kinds of records. Like you said, the Mahomes sold for $4 million, a little over $4 million. Which, Doug, how ridiculous is this? A card for $10 million?
Well, this is the thing you have to ask yourself. Like, if you buy real estate now, you got to figure you're buying it at the upper end. If you're buying collectibles now, do you think you're buying it at the upper end?
Oh, Doug, it's gotten so crazy. We bought a deal today, a great deal today. The hobby's so great. It's been great. It's been great. Knock on wood, it's been great. Yes, there will be a bubble, like anything else. You ever heard what goes up comes down? Yes, there will. But the guys that are buying these $10 million cards, I don't think it's their last $10 million. I don't think they're like, you know what? I got 11 million in the bank. I'm going to buy my LeBron card for 10. I think these are guys that just have egos and want to say, I got this and you don't have it. And I think these are billionaires. I want to say these are billionaires buying these cards, but it's insane. I mean, it's crazy. Think about it. One basketball card, a house in Malibu, 3 cars, fam Rolls Royces, boats. To me, it doesn't make sense. I've been in the hobby a long time. It really has gotten out of control. And LeBron is he just says the stupidest things. He hates everybody, and I can't see that staying like that.
Yeah, but he is one of the best basketball players in the world. I think it's be interesting what's going to happen with it. Another collectible I thought was interesting. This is something I would be interested in owning. I wouldn't want a LeBron James card. I mean, like, aside from its value, I wouldn't mind if I, make an investment if I thought somebody was going to tell me in a few years
Yes.
you sell for double. But the gun that was used to kill Billy the Kid,
Wow.
is prepared to auction. Expected highest bid is $2 million.
But here you go. You just said it. A Billy the Kid gun, which is amazing piece of history. Yes. And I'm going to tell you something funny. That's amazing. And that is an amazing piece that if I had the money, I love history. That's something I'd rather have, me personally.
Oh yeah.
But it's amazing. But that's how the hobby is right now, Doug. It's funny because LeBron James card's 10 million, and I almost bought an Abraham Lincoln. I missed out on it. The guy wanted $6,200.
Abraham Lincoln had an NBA card.
No,
I know
this
he was tall, but
this was a piece of a document that he signed. It was PSA slabbed, and it was beautiful. I don't have one. I have a Washington. I have an Adams. I don't have a Lincoln. And I dropped the ball on this one. I offered the guy 58. He came back at 6,000. I don't know why I didn't buy it. I just didn't. I walked around and came back to buy it. I had the cash. Came back to buy it.
$200.
Yeah. I know. There's something about me. I can't pay exactly what people want. It's like, and they go for like $7,000, so it's not a big savings. But it was a nice piece of history. I should have bought it. I'm kicking myself, But that's the point I'm trying to get at. Here's a great piece of history. Abraham Lincoln is pretty cool piece of history. The problem is nobody knows who Abraham Lincoln is in the youth between 15 and 30. They're like, who's Abraham Lincoln?
Yeah.
So that's the problem.
Yeah, they just want to tear down a statue.
Exactly, man.
You know what I'm saying? Yeah, man, that's nuts. I mean, by the way, did the signature have syphilis on it?
No, Abraham Lincoln had syphilis?
Yeah, he died of syphilis. Well,
really? No. Same thing as Al Capone? I thought he got shot. I had to think about that. I'm like, but he definitely didn't die of syphilis. Maybe, but Doug, I think we're a little bit off on history here. I don't know. There's some guy named John Wilkes Booth has something to do with this. I don't know.
Yeah, I think I have syphilis in my brain.
Wow. And you know what's funny? I thought about it for a second. I'm like, he had syphilis.
Well, he had syphilis. Obviously didn't die of it.
No.
But if he was in the days of COVID,
I think he died of COVID. I think Abraham Lincoln died of COVID.
Actually,
exactly.
The National Institute of Health actually went and said, he died of COVID. He's another number.
Exactly. John Wilkes Booth, contagious of COVID.
It was the John. It was the John Wilkes Booth variants.
Exactly. The variant. Yes, exactly.
Hey,
but actually, I had to be on that one, Doug. Go ahead.
Yeah, but by the way, speaking of dying, and the Andrew Cuomo stay or his time is up. They announced today, the Attorney General of New York announced today that they find that he violated federal and state laws by being a perv, putting his hands on titties and groping
But he's a Democrat, so what's going to happen? He's a Democrat. I mean, they had all this information on Biden and his son. Nothing happened. So why is this any different? Why? That's the problem. You really think something's going to happen, Doug? Honestly, do you think something's going to happen?
I do think that they're going to sacrifice him. Just to make him look like, hey, we're
doing something. We're doing something. Exactly.
Yeah, and
this way we don't pick on Biden anymore. We'll just go after Cuomo.
Yeah, don't worry about him.
That makes sense. Yeah.
And it's funny because his response, because he denied it. He's denied it. Meanwhile, everybody's saying it's okay, and they got all kinds of things corroborating the stories. But his response was there was no serious. Listen, he goes, hey. There was no serious sexual misconduct. And
what's serious?
It's not like I finger banged the girl in the restroom bath, public restroom, or what I'm saying, or made her use a strap on and pinch my my nipples.
Well, nothing serious with the guy. It's the woman. Usually, it's more serious with it. When a guy bangs a chick, it's not serious with her. It might be a little serious, Yeah. So we'll hear her side of it. What's serious and what's not serious, You know what? You could just look at him, and he's scum. He's scum.
Look at his brother. I keep watching Fredo videos of his brother, being called out and him being a tough guy. And he's supposedly all this. He's a schmuck. You know what I mean? Yeah. He's a schmuck. So I thought that was interesting. And we'll see where it goes. He'll probably end up having to resign. Yeah, that's what the Attorney General said.
You know what? We'll see. I don't believe it, Doug. I mean, obviously, if this was anybody else, a Republican, he'd be gone a long time ago. They try to get Trump on ice cream, and then this guy, they get him on nothing. So we'll see. I'm not sold that he'll be gone. He should be gone, but I doubt it.
Yeah, well, that's what I think. It's funny because a few people, I made a post on Facebook about what he said, and some people are like, well, Trump, bringing up Trump. I go, hey, as of this moment, what I know is that through all the shit you guys been talking about for the last 5 years, he hasn't been found to violate any federal or state law.
This is true.
You could keep digging all you want, but there's nothing. You've got, it's all horseshit.
Let me tell you something. Go ahead, Doug. I'm sorry.
No, I'm just saying. That's it. You would think, this is the smoking gun. All these reports. Nothing. You got nothing on the guy.
Doug, this is the funny thing. I didn't mean to interrupt you, but this is the funny thing, Doug. They've been trying to get so much stuff on. Trump has to be the cleanest guy on the planet, dude. They tried to get everything on this guy and nothing. They couldn't get anything because it's all smoke and mirrors, man. There's nothing Trump has done. Believe me, if Trump did something wrong, he would be locked. Trust me when I tell you this. They tried everything to get this guy. Years and years of investigation. You know how much they investigated and how much money they spent to get something on this man? Something, and they got nada. Nothing. It was all false.
If IRS audits didn't pull the information on the
Nothing
audit,
is. And let me tell you something. They were all against him. There was nobody on Trump's side. If these people investigating Trump wanted his ass, they wanted his ass on a platter.
There was plenty of how do you say? There was plenty of bravado to try to get it. There was plenty of motivation. So it's not like somebody just, we're not really trying that hard. No, you guys were trying hard. You guys are trying harder than people trying to dig for gold in San Francisco many years ago.
And meanwhile, on an open plate, you had everything on Biden. You had Hunter Biden. You had Ukraine. You had China. You had all this stuff that was right in your face. You could not see it. It was impossible not to say. You didn't have to dig. There was no layers. It was there. By the way, nothing, nada.
By the way, as you mentioned, our boy, the Biden boy, his numbers are falling. His approval rating is falling. It's below all kinds of levels. And hey, this is perfect for 2022. That's all we need, man.
And has COVID gotten any better on Biden's watch? Has it gotten any better on Biden's watch? I mean, it's actually worse. And the funny thing about it is the vaccine was all Trump. That's the only thing that's been done, and it was all Trump. And you want to know something? All these idiots on these left-wing nut jobs on the Congress and all that, they all say, I'm not taking it. I'm not taking it. Trump told me to do it. Now they're all forcing it. So it's hypocrites. It's tons of hypocrites in this.
The senator from South Carolina, the guy that actually boosted Biden to become the nomination, I'm trying to remember his name. He basically, they had a hearing and they were saying, well, everybody who said it before the FDA gave it emergency authorization. Like, well, they still have not given it a thumbs up. And, so they try to hide behind that horse shit. You know what I mean? It's amazing. We said it, but because we said this, that makes a difference. And it's, listen, I just hope the American public, and I think it's not the diehards on either side. It's going to be that fringe vote, right? The people in the middle that are going to say, hey, things are pretty fucking bad. You know what I mean?
They are.
You could say whatever you want about Trump, but the way things are now, gas prices, cost of living, everything, the fact that all these other countries now, Iran just attacked, another oil ship, right? And because we fucked up. And here's the best part. When it comes to Iran, Israel just needs to take care of this shit. Right, because Israel already has gotten the approval for some of these Arab nations, right? That, hey, we're cool with you. So all they need to do, and the new prime minister, by the way, who's a badass, he basically said, look, the rest of the world, don't worry, we can take care of Iran. You know what I mean? Like, we'll handle this shit. And they already, and I think they're some of the best military force in the world.
Yes,
the Israelis, and the Israelis
are. Know why they're so good, Doug? Because everybody joins. It's like women, men. Everybody's got to do 2 years. You all got to do it. And I think, not to change the subject, I think that should be done in the United States.
Man. I already agree.
Because these kids have no discipline. They're skinny jeans, purple hair, douchebags that can't even fucking tie their shoes, that live in their mom's basement until they're 35, trying to tell me about politics. These fucking idiots.
Let me tell you something about that laziness aspect, right? Like, oh, woe is me shit. Okay. I needed to get an important document from one of my family members, my nephew. And I asked, can you please get it overnighted to me? Because I need it. I'm leaving. I'm going to Tulsa early in the morning tomorrow. So I needed it today to image it and send. Guess what? Couldn't get to the fucking FedEx office in time. Had too much shit to do. Works at home. I was so busy working. I'm like, you work at home. You work till 3:30. And it's amazing, These kids today, my internet's out. Fuck my life.
Oh, they're fucked. I mean, we had structure when we were kids. They have no structure. And that's what the military is. It's structure. And you know what? Maybe they'll have a little more damn respect for our country and our flag if they served. Maybe they have a little bit more respect. And getting to that, not to change the subject, I love that the U.S. soccer team lost again. Love it. And it just goes to show you that they're not concentrating on soccer. They're concentrating on everything else, their messages besides soccer, because this was a great team that never lost, and they lost 2 in a row. And the same thing with the men's basketball team. No, same thing. This is a dream team, and they can't beat anybody. It's because they don't work together, and they're all about themselves. Their message. Their message isn't basketball or soccer. That's one thing I'll tell you.
The team itself is divided. There's too many personas. The best thing about the American women's national soccer team, when they really started reaching their level and becoming a dominant team in the world, was because they were cohesive, united. They were a team. There was no individualistic aspect. You had Mia Hamm, but basically in the early days, but the team worked together. They passed the ball unselfishly and everything like that. But now you got Rapinoe and you got.
And know what I love, Doug?
He scores.
Doug, this is my favorite, Doug, actually. What's his name? Rapino, whatever her name is. I can't even say it, and I don't want to say it. But the funny thing is, she's kneeling and for oppressed black people, and the girl next to her is black, and she's saluting the flag. I'm like, you moron, you idiot, like you retard, you know?
She's not happy. She's not happy with how far the gay community has come in this day and age.
It's all for attention. She could care less. It's for attention.
And how many people are going to Subway? You know, a lot of people aren't going to Subway because
I'm not. Well, the sub sucks anyway, so who cares?
Yeah, I mean, there's so many other sub places you'd rather go. But besides that, you know, you look at that. Okay, you have your boy Tom Brady on the commercial, right?
I know.
You have Mahomes on the commercial. Yeah. Then you have her on there. She looks like she's like somebody who should be pulling a red wagon, you know, and collecting beer bottles on the side of the road.
Well, Brady doesn't send a message out. He just keeps quiet. He's making money to doing commercials. Brady could care less about this nonsense. That's why he's a winner. That's why he wins every other year, because he doesn't care. He doesn't listen. He doesn't care either way.
Look, Mark's getting a boner. He's talking about boner.
Exactly, man. But it's true, man. You know, he just wants to win. That's all the man wants to do is win. So hey. Yeah, if he wants to do a Subway commercial, it ain't gonna bother me.
Well, I got a story for you since we're kind of talking about Trump. You know, one of the people that really didn't like Trump. Who do you think are the top 3 people in the country that really don't like Trump?
Well, Hillary's definitely one.
Oh yeah, she never forget him.
And we know Jeb Bush hated him because he was a Republican and he hated him.
He pointed out his uselessness.
Oh yeah, and he was useless.
But Kathy Griffin.
Oh, she hated him.
Remember how she was holding his severed head?
And that was no problem. That TikTok and tweet and everyone, put it up there for a while. Yeah. Me, I say Joe Biden, they lose their mind. Everything goes black screen. You know what I'm saying?
How dare you? How dare you say anything? Well, Kathy Griffin, and again, we don't wish anything bad on anybody, but sometimes if you live a toxic life, because way before Trump, she's always like ragged on people and made fun of people, and you know, she's always been like that kind of. She's
not a great person.
No, she's a very mean person. Well, guess what? She has lung cancer.
I don't wish that on anybody.
Yeah, I don't either. But you know what? Like I said, sometimes if you're toxic, sometimes these things manifest themselves in us. And you know, the lesson is, you know, do good. You know, bring value to your neighbor and your friend and the community. Bring value. Don't just try to, like you're saying, don't just try to
don't be divisive.
Yeah, and don't just try to stand up for something because you want your name on something or something. You know.
I think no one did this before. I'm sorry to interrupt you, Doug. Nobody did this before. Because there was nobody cared. Now it's such a big deal, so they all have to do it. Once Colin Kaepernick did and got paid, they're all like, you know what? I want to stand out. No one's talking about me anymore. No one's talking about me. Let me stand out now. You know what I'm saying? Kaepernick didn't do this until he sucked at quarterback. When he was playing good, he didn't kneel. Then all of a sudden, he couldn't throw a fucking ball more than 10 yards. He's kneeling. I kneel too. You know, I want to get attention. You know, it's like the little.
He wasn't kneeling. He wasn't kneeling to protest racial inequality.
He's half white, half black. His parents are white. He was brought up. He had the best upbringing you can have. He had a great upbringing.
But he wasn't kneeling for all that. He was kneeling because his arm hurt. He was like, "Oh, I got to do this."
Exactly. I suck. I'm kneeling.
By the way, speaking of athletes, you know, we spoke here on the show, Mark, about the transgender male athletes transgendering into women, and there was a lot of talk about that power lifter.
I know where you're going on this.
Yeah. American powerlifter. Here's a guy that every time he squats, you can see he's the only woman, you know, that you can see with the ball sticking out of his thing. Well, he didn't make it. He got cut.
Love it. I love it.
He didn't even make. I'm sorry, she didn't even make the medal round. So which now I don't know what's more embarrassing: being a man in a strength competition, losing to women.
I love it. It's
almost as good as like we talked about the other day or a couple of weeks ago, where the guy who was transgender won Miss Nevada.
Well, I have something he can do. Maybe he can identify as a teenage woman, and he go into teenage competition, and he may win that one. Maybe the 13 to 17-year-old, you know, junior Olympics. He might have a shot at that one. Maybe that's the way he'll go.
He says he now associates as a 14-year-old, and or you know what? He said, you know what? Wait a minute, this is just in on the wire, Mark. He's no longer going to be competing in the Olympics. He's now going to be competing in the Special Olympics because he realizes he's not that bright. Good for him.
But not for anything. That is awesome. That's a great story. But can you imagine what you're saying right now? It's so funny that he actually switched sexes and didn't even qualify. Did he win a bronze or a silver?
He did. He didn't even make it. He didn't even. He didn't. Even, he didn't. He wasn't even. He didn't even lift enough weight to get into like the running. Like
That's like me riding a bicycle and losing in a track and field event. I'm on a bicycle and they're running, and I'm motorcycle and I still
yeah,
lose. I mean, that's like great. I love it. I love it.
yeah.
That's a great story, actually.
He actually complained because he actually squished his nuts.
Yeah, that was the unfair advantage he had.
Yeah, I'm sorry, but every time I squat, my nuts hurt. No other the other women have that issue. It's not fair. You know
Wow,
what I'm saying so.
that is an amazing, amazing story, man.
Yeah,
That's crazy.
And you know what? The big thing is in the country that they just stopped the eviction ban, the national eviction ban, nationwide
Okay.
eviction ban. So obviously, if the question is, when you think about it, oh God, then you mean the people that aren't working are going to get kicked out of their house? Well, shit, it's been over a year, right? It's been a year and a
Yeah.
half since
Get your shit together. It's been wild. We giving you free money for a year. Free money for almost 2 years.
Yeah, don't pay. I mean, after eventually the clock has to start again.
Yes.
Eventually, things need to get back in. You can't just be sitting
I'm
back.
working. You're working. Why can't everybody else work?
Well,
You know?
that's so thoughtless of you, Mark, because there's so many
Yeah.
people that just don't have the ability to fold, type.
But I'll tell you why I'll tell you why this bothers me, Doug. Because I'm a big guy like you, and when I go to the Outback Steakhouse, and they don't have enough employees to sit my ass down and eat my baked potato and steak because they're getting too much money from the government. So they don't want to work, because why would you want to work when the government gives you free money? You know what I'm saying? And that's what I love about DeSantis. I think he's stopping those. I mean, he might have stopped them already.
Yeah,
he's stopping. Yeah, and listen, man. There's plenty of jobs. Matter of fact, people are paying money to hire people. There's people paying money to hire people. There's plenty of jobs. Stop being lazy. Stop blaming everybody else why you don't have a job. Stop it. When I'm driving and I see homeless people and they're young and they have 2 arms and 2 legs, I'm like, stop. Put the sign down. That's a lot of work to make a sign. That's a lot of work. Yeah. Do the same effort you have to make that nice sign and get a job. Do something. Okay, do some. Try.
Try to get a job at a sign shop.
Exactly. Or practice twirling the sign. There's always you have so much free time holding the sign. Twirl that sign really nice. I might hire you. I did twirl in front of my store. I might hire a sign twirl.
That's what Mark's going to do. But you're right. But so the question is, should you feel bad? Like everybody you have to have sympathy for your fellow human being. But eventually sympathy turns into like an enabling feeling. You're like, okay, listen, it's time. You can't be sitting there expecting landlords or people that own property not to be.
But Doug, you have to have sympathy for the right people. Someone has stage 4 cancer. That's a beautiful person that does so much stuff in the world. I'm like, oh, I'll cry. I'll like literally have tears in my eyes, man. But you have to have sympathy for the right. I'm not having sympathy for some lazy fuck that doesn't want to work. There's no sympathy there.
People that are circumventing the system. You know what I mean? That are taking advantage of a system. It's not a good thing. So that's the thing. We have to ask ourselves, everybody, that hey, when's enough is enough?
And the funny thing is, why not let more people in the country? Because we don't have enough lazy fucks. Let's bring some more people in here. And you know what? COVID's not bad enough, so let's bring more people. Let's not check them. Let's break my balls every time I walk somewhere and say, put your mask. The funny thing, I was on Spirit Airlines, and my mask slid 1/100th of an inch under my nose, and the Spirit Nazi ran up to me, put your thing over your nose. I'm like, are you fucking kidding me? You have 800 people on this plane next to me in poor ventilation. You think my mask being 1/100th of 1 inch is mattering? It's like the seat. Put your seat up. That 1/100th of 1/8 of an inch on your seat is going to make the plane not fly better.
What the hell are you on Spirit Airlines? You got money. What the hell?
Do you know why? I'll tell you why. But I'll tell you why. Because it's so cheap, bro.
Dude.
When I say it's so cheap, dude, it is like my girlfriend won't fly Spirit. But you know what? I'm not. I like to spend my money on things.
It's a shit there. What do you got, dude? If you were my,
but that's why I have money, because I fly Spirit. Listen, I can fly Spirit for $149 round trip, or I can pay $549 on another airline.
I want you to you didn't buy the Abraham Lincoln sign.
Hey, my rule of thumb. It's funny you say that. My rule of thumb is if it's $50, $75, $100 more, boom, I'll do it. Another airline. But when it's like a third of the price, man, it's 2.5 hours, man. That's all it is. And you know what? I got it down. I get the big front seat. I do get the big front seat for $59. I do that.
Yeah.
But you go to A to B, man. It's you're in the air. How much different can it be?
I had a lucky moment because I'm a spender. I had to fly. I was in Phoenix. I was flying the red eye home on a Saturday at midnight.
Mm-hmm.
And you know what? I figured, all right. So I figured, I'm going to get to the airport a little earlier, just find something to eat at the airport. I get there, everything's closed food wise. I'm like,
Yeah.
God damn it, I'm not going to eat till the morning. But then I realized, as an American Express Platinum card holder,
You go
that
into little, yeah.
I actually, and I flew Delta, not fucking that shit airline. I flew Delta, and I got to stay at the Delta Sky Lab or Sky Lab,
Nice. Nice.
and I got to eat, and I had food, and it was beautiful. And I want to thank Delta. They're not sponsoring the program as of yet, but
Maybe they will after
I
this.
want to thank them for. And then, of course, I went to Atlanta, had a 3-hour layover, stayed at another lounge, ate all kinds of food. Oh,
Nice, man. See, that's the way to go. You know me, I'm all about getting there and first of all, if my plane leaves at 7, I'm there at like 6:29. So I'm
Really?
like OJ Simpson running down the, that's how I am. That's how I have my life, And
Not
then,
me.
yeah, you're a little more different than I am. We have two different personalities in that way. But I'm last minute. I'm always doing, even now today with the podcast, I was working all the way to the last minute and doing something. I'm always keeping myself active. And so to me, it's just a 2.5-hour flight. Now listen. Now if I'm flying to Vegas, or I flew to Italy, different ball game. Obviously, Spirit doesn't fly to Italy, but if I'm flying to Vegas, I'm not flying Spirit because that's a 5-hour flight, man, and that's torture if you're not flying the right airline.
You got to be in a seat that can recline and everything.
Yes. Oh yeah, Spirit. You don't get a half inch. You don't get a half inch.
I would never fly Spirit. Sorry, dude. I fly Allegiant, which is pretty cheap, but that's an hour flight from Greenville to Fort Lauderdale. I'll fly Allegiant, but I'm not going to get on that fucking bus.
You know what? I'm cheap on some things, and I'm very out there on other things. When it comes to like going out in restaurants and drinks, I'll spend the money. But if a flight's 2.5
I
hours,
think they call that bipolar. Buy financial. Buy financial.
Exactly. Yeah.
So,
you know what? You gotta curve it somewhere. You know what I'm saying?
well,
Meanwhile, I'll go to the casino and drop $5,000 like it's nothing. I'm worried about the $50 extra. The $50 extra on. So put 1,000 on black. But that's the gambling me. So
isn't that funny how we do that? Like we want to save $100 here or there, but we'll go to a strip club and go. Oh,
I was going to say that. I got a friend. I'm not going to mention his name because I don't want to blast him. But I got a buddy of mine. He actually works for me. He's got money. And he will rub every nickel. If we get like 2 sandwiches, like, oh, mine didn't have lettuce and yours had a tomato, yours is 48 cents for the avocado. But when it comes to a strip club, hey, Mark, you want to dance? $25. Like it's his priority. And we laugh about it. We actually laugh about it. I'm like, dude, you're frugal about a piece of turkey, but here you go. He's playing 4 songs in the back room. I'm like, what's going on? So that's kind of funny. Everybody has their priorities, Hey, Doug, saying that, 30 minutes went quick, brother. You know what? It's a great show, man. It's always a pleasure having you, bro. I think the shows are getting better and better. And guess what, man? We need your support, man. If you like us, just it's simple. Go on YouTube. What else are we on? YouTube?
YouTube, Instagram, TikTok.
YouTube,
Facebook.
Instagram, TikTok, Facebook. We're on all these avenues. All I ask is you guys like it or subscribe, whatever. Because, share the videos. Sharing the videos is real important because that's how we get the word out. And you listen, everybody needs to get the word out because it's getting where it's one-sided, and sometimes it's nice to hear the other side. And I'll be honest with you, Doug, I think me and you are both pretty fair on both sides. I don't think we're crazy right-wing nut jobs. I think we're in the middle. I think we're for what's right and what's wrong. I think
I'm fair.
You are fair.
Yeah, I don't like just look at something and take my side up because it's the way I'm supposed to think. I try to weigh it out. I've always been that way. And
you have.
It's funny how people try to corner you into another. Oh, you're just this way, You're
very rational. You're very rational. And listen, Doug, I found out Lincoln had syphilis today. That was very interesting.
Yeah, you see what I'm saying? You didn't know that.
You learn something new every day.
There you go.
But he didn't die. He didn't die of syphilis. Just so you know, he didn't die.
No.
Okay.
He died of the John Wilson variant.
Exactly. Doug, so where's your next show at?
I'm going to be this week in Tulsa, Oklahoma, at the Looney Bin this Wednesday through Saturday, opening for Steve Mudflap McGrew. Next week, I'm going to be in Wichita at the Looney Bin, opening for the Raging Cajun. So go out to those days. Come out and see me out there, everybody.
And I'm not just saying this because Doug's my friend and I know him for 30 years because I dog him out. And if he wasn't funny, I'd tell him to his face because I'm very straightforward. Very good show, very entertaining. I don't know about his clean stuff. He says try and clean stuff, but when Doug is on, he's on. And if you get a chance to see him, you'll enjoy it. I mean, it's a really good show. And he usually has pretty good guests. They're usually pretty funny. I mean, he gets some big headliners, man. Bobby Collins, woo. And I mean, he gets some big headliners. I mean, guys that were big names back in the day, he gets them at the show. So you know what? It's not expensive, man. Go and check it out. I've been to at least about 6 year shows, 7 year shows.
Yeah.
And I've enjoyed every one of them. Every one of them.
September 1st in Coral Springs, Tavolino's Jim Florentine's in town. So come out.
Very crank yankers, man. He's very, very good. And me, I do what I do, man. I buy and sell baseball cards. I'm looking for that $8 million LeBron card so I can retire. But, I did sell a very expensive Jackie Robinson signed card this weekend. I was very happy with that. It was very, very good card. I sold it. I was very happy with that. So we'll put that money to good use. Maybe I'll fly United with that extra cash I made.
Look at you.
Maybe I'll splurge.
United.
Maybe I'll splurge. Maybe I'll buy the extra hoagie and peanuts on Spirit.
Yeah. Are you on zone 1, 2, 3?
So everybody, peace out. Watch us, enjoy us. Doug, it's great talking to you, man. Love it. And guys, always do what you like to do, man. Peace out.
God bless.